It's difficult for you to open your eyes. You have no idea where you are right now. You have no recollection whatsoever of who you are or what your name is. Your brain is still a little foggy and you hear multiple voices around you. Having strained a bit, you open your eyes, but only barely. You notice a large crowd of people in front of you, all of which appear to be looking at you. Looking down, you find yourself standing upon a stage. It seems that's why everyone must be looking at you. Your clothes and hands are colored blue for some reason. Perhaps you're an actor and you perform in such makeup. Not likely. If that were the case, you would have already been jeered off stage for lack of action. You touch your face. It feels as if it is also covered in blue paint. You then notice another person on stage. He's constantly pointing his finger at you, stating a 10-digit number, and then counting to 3. The people in the audience, however, don't let him finish, but instead interrupt him, calling out their own 10-digit numbers. It seems that everyone present here is trading, and you are, in fact, the very subject of the auction. For some reason, the people gathered here are ready to pay huge sums of money to acquire you. But what could be so special about you? Is it that your blue skin is worth billions of dollars? It looks like the woman in the hat sitting in the 4th row from the right is called the final bet. The sum? $9.5 billion. Nobody's prepared to pay more than that for you. The person next to you strikes a hammer and announces your sale. However, it appears that the deal was not destined to happen. Several dozen people burst into the hall armed with machine guns. All those present scatter about in all directions. Some of them quite literally dissolve into thin air and simply disappear. In the meantime, you now feel that you're able to move. Only you're not exactly sure how you should do this. Should I run or should I stay put? It's all the same to you. And now several individuals with machine guns are making their way in your direction. For some reason, you don't want to resist them, and it has nothing to do with the guns. Something inside you wants these people to be happy, not upset. One of them introduces himself as Agent Mickelson. He then asks you what you know about yourself. You answer that you don't even know what your own name is. Mickelson reports that you're the property of some fund, but you have been kidnapped, and now it's time for you to return home. You follow your liberators, unsuspecting of the fact that you've just been lied to. This is how your life story might sound if you were SCP-1005. This item was captured during an auction by Marshall Carter and Dark Limited. Seconds before the Foundation Task Force's invasion, SCP-1005 recovered. It knew absolutely nothing about who or what it was, let alone its exact purpose. Therefore, the Foundation staff found it rather easy to convince the object that it was the stolen property of the Foundation. SCP-1005 is a sapient humanoid composed entirely of fragmentarily solid blue paint. The paint shades range from dark blue to almost a white hue. Its skin and clothing is 75% as strong as human skin. So, where a human might just have a scratch, SCP-1005 is more likely to develop full lacerations. The object is approximately 190 centimeters tall and looks like a bald male, but it has no corresponding sex characteristics nor gender identity. Most of the clothing is, in fact, made up of the same material as SCP-1005 itself, except for the sleeves and hem of the t-shirt, as well as part of the legs below the ankles, all of which are made of fabric. It's unknown where the fabric comes from, but I would assume that it's likely cotton. The shoes, unlike the clothing, are a completely separate item. The subject takes them off from time to time. Additionally, SCP-1005 is able to control how its body interacts with other surfaces. If so desired, it can leave blue spots on the walls, or it can choose not to. However, this largely depends on the degree of humidity. The more water in the air, the less it's able to control its body. The maximum amount of water that was able to be introduced into the body of the object during the experiments is just over 6 liters. The first 4 liters were injected in through the mouth. Already after 2 liters, the surface of the object began to flow. After 4 liters, the anomaly began feeling heavy, and its movement was slowed. Researchers introduced the rest of the liquid by spraying it. Following 5 liters, the anomaly could not move at all, nor even maintain an upright position. The experiment was stopped after 6.2 liters to prevent SCP-1005 from completely spreading out. A reverse experiment involving dehydration demonstrated that moisture is a determining factor for the consciousness of the object. SCP-1005 was uncomfortable in a dry room under infrared lamps. After 30 minutes, the object ceased all movement, after which it lost consciousness. A small amount of water brought it back to life. An autopsy of the object showed that its internal structure allows it to maintain a vital life of moisture under normal conditions. The vessels of the anomaly are filled with a water-diluted paint. The rest of the internal organs look more akin to an artistic simplification that does not actually have any function. Various manipulations of internal organs resulted in nothing except the object experiencing discomfort. Interfering with its brain also showed no effect on the mental capacity of the abnormality. The object was disturbed the most by alterations to its anatomy. Scientists in this experiment did not limit their imagination. They removed the right hand and attached it under the left. Researchers also stuck a whole other nose in the abdomen, and that's not even counting all the completed eyes they did. What was surprising is that every additional part of the body turned out to actually be functional. The attached hands moved, the nose could smell, and the eyes saw. However, the object did not like all of this, so much that he requested that this sort of thing not be repeated. But then again, it rarely makes requests. For convenience, SCP-1005 asked only for a chair during its containment. Essentially, the anomaly cares more about the people around it being happy. SCP-1005 is always courteous to the staff members and displays a willingness to cooperate. However, the range of emotions displayed by SCP-1005 itself is rather small, limited primarily to the concept of pleasure or displeasure. Mimicry is also gone, and complex abstract concepts are completely out of reach to the anomaly. Conversations on the topic of religion and philosophy seem too complicated for the object, and cause it to be bewildered instead. However, SCP-1005 is capable of rapid counting, simple tasks, and speaking English in a low voice with a Northwest American accent. SCP-1005 is empathic, although researchers are of the opinion that it's merely programmed to respond appropriately. In one experiment, the object was asked to press a button that would cause a D-class person sitting on a dummy electric chair to experience extreme pain. SCP-1005 obstinately refused to hurt anyone, but when told that the D-class personnel would be killed otherwise, SCP-1005 then changed its mind. It apologized to the employee for the upcoming discomfort and pressed the button. Researchers considered that it was not actually real sympathy, but a reaction to that which contradicted the inherent behavior of the object. I think it's obvious to you that SCP-1005 was created and programmed for the sole purpose of entertaining and serving its owners. I'm interested in who created it and how. The first thing that came to my mind was that the person drawn belongs to the Little Mister series by Dr. Wondertainment. Marshall Carter and Dark Limited often buys his goods from Wondertainment and resells them at rather exorbitant prices. It is true that SCP-1005 is not listed on the accompanying sheet of paper that's in the pocket of every Little Mister. There's no brand mark on its body either. Nevertheless, taking into account Wondertainment's talent for animating toys, it can be assumed that he inspired someone else's work of art, as SCP-1005 is known to have come to life directly at the auction itself. It's possible that Wondertainment was present there until the assault began, at which point he then disappeared, as if nothing had ever happened. My other version has it that representatives of Prometheus Labs may be involved here. They also frequently work with Marshall Carter and Dark Limited. But the most intriguing of theories to me is the possibility of SCP-1005 acting as a spy. It claims that it knows nothing, and doesn't remember the events that preceded its capture. But what if it's lying? I assume that it deliberately impersonates an unintelligent and kind person, since the Foundation employees are already so tired of dangerous anomalies that they welcome any safe object with open arms. The painted person is very much loved by all agents. They trust it and very often reveal their hidden secrets, naively believing that this information will not go beyond SCP-1005. But what if the blue creature carefully collects and analyzes all incoming information, and then transmits it to its creators in some psychic way? That's why it actively agrees to participate in all the experiments that are offered to it. Moreover, I believe that it's able to read the minds of people in close proximity. Thanks to its ability to draw people to it, it obtained permission to visit all the common areas in Zone 17. Employees strive to contact the anomaly. The object gives them comfort, and in exchange penetrates their most secret thoughts. Or is it really a good person, and my professional paranoia makes me suspect everyone around me of espionage and service in such organizations? Let us know your opinion in the comments.